Implant-level impression techniques. This video will demonstrate how to use both pickup and transfer impression coping techniques in conjunction with the EP Emergence Profile System. 3i EP System. The unique 3i Emergence Profile System with 1- and 2-piece healing abutments benefit the healing and sculpting of soft tissue in preparation of the final abutment and crown. These EP healing abutments are used with all conventionally external hexed implants. 2-piece EP healing abutments engage the implant hex and are ideal for single-stage surgical protocols. The following is an example of how the EP healing abutment achieves natural results by maintaining the emergence angles of the natural tooth. Directions for use. Choose the appropriate healing abutment based on the size of the implant, the amount of soft tissue, and the diameter of the tooth being replaced. Place the abutment with a large hex driver. Tighten manually. Allow tissue to heal for the appropriate amount of time. Impression techniques explained. There are 2 types of indirect laboratory techniques that can be used. First, we will explain the pickup impression technique, and then we will explain the transfer impression technique using 3i twist-lock impression copings. Pickup impression copings have a 2-piece design that is used to transfer the hex position of the implant or the position of an abutment to a laboratory model for use during the fabrication of implant restorations. Pickup impression copings can be used with all conventional external hexed implants, wide diameter, XP implants, and abutments. Use of the pickup impression coping may be difficult in cases where there is limited interarch distance. Directions for use. To begin, select the appropriate pickup coping based upon the size of the implant platform and the diameter of the healing abutment. Place the impression coping on the implant and engage the hex. Tighten the screw with the large hex driver. Take a radiograph to verify proper seating. Use a custom or stock impression tray that has been prepared with a window over the impression coping screw. Try in the tray to verify that the screw is visible through the window. If adjustments are needed, a large lab carbide burr can be used to modify the window. Syringe impression material around the coping using your choice of a heavy or medium body impression material. Load and seat the impression tray. Once the tray is seated, remove the excess material from window to expose the impression coping screw. After the material has set, use the large hex driver to loosen the screw for removal of the tray. The impression coping is locked into the impression and should not be adjusted in any way. After removal of the impression tray, replace the healing abutment on the implant or the healing cap on the abutment. Place the corresponding analog into the impression coping and tighten the screw with the large hex driver. Proceed with model pour-up and laboratory procedures. We will now review the transfer impression technique using the 3i twist-lock transfer impression coping. The 3i twist-lock impression coping is designed with 3 grooved locking features to accurately transfer the implant position, implant hex, or abutment to laboratory models for use during fabrication of implant restorations. The twist-lock design provides an anti-rotational resistance, allowing the transfer coping to easily lock into place. Directions for use. Select the appropriate twist-lock impression coping based on the implant size or diameter of the EP healing abutment. Place the impression coping using the impression coping driver, engaging the hex of the implant when appropriate. Tighten screws by friction only. A radiograph should be taken to ensure complete seating of the coping on the hex. Use a stock or custom impression tray with the impression material of your choice. Syringe the impression material around the twist-lock transfer coping, then fill the tray. Insert the impression tray into the mouth and allow the impression material to set per the manufacturer's instructions. Once the impression material has set, remove it with firm pressure. During the transfer impression technique, the impression coping will stay in the mouth attached to the implant or abutment. Inspect the impression for accuracy and required detail of the twist lock 3-groove feature. Remove the twist lock impression coping from the implant using the impression coping driver. Replace the healing abutment on the implant or the healing cap on the abutment. Select the corresponding laboratory analog. Attach the impression coping to the analog. Re-index the impression coping and laboratory analog into the impression by pushing firmly into place. Twist clockwise until there is a tactile feel of resistance. This will indicate that the 3 grooves on the coping are locked into place and that the implant hex will be accurately transferred. Proceed with model pour-up and laboratory procedures. We hope that this short video has answered your questions about taking implant-level impressions. If you need further assistance, please contact your 3i representative or customer support.